Ladies, gentlemen, other beings, welcome to another recording of Fair Magic. Breaking news, they spoiled more Keyforge. There's another set coming out already. They don't even have product in stores, but they're making another one because that's how you make games. You make them in advance, so they got to ship it. They got to do it. There's more Keyforge. It is Age of Ascension is the new set. That's what we're talking about. We predicted some of the cards in the most previous Fair Keyforge, which is actually what we're doing. And we're going to try and guess some other cards because they spoiled 20 of about 200 new cards 3 days ago. And it was an incredible time for everybody.
Can I start with 3 chains?
Yeah, dude. Ooh. There's just a card that gives your opponent 3 chains now.
Deece.
Yeah.
Action. Does it give it an amber?
No.
Just
gives them 3
gives
chains.
Them 3 chains. Seems like a pretty decent card, especially if they're playing Deece as themselves.
Yeah, Phantom Succubus that you can't kill for 3 turns.
Yeah.
So let's say they gateway to Deece you. Is that the one that destroys all creatures, gives themselves 3 chains? Like, how about you have 6 turns of 5 cards instead of 6?
Once you go up to, is it 8?
7.
To lose 7, you lose 2
So
cards.
the dream is they gateway to Deece and then play a Rise.
Yeah.
And get their Deece creatures back and get 4 chains.
Yeah.
Pirate Pete's on another show. He's making the rounds. So they got 4 chains, right? And then you play the card that gives them 3 chains. They go up to 7. They drop to 4 the turn after that. You're like...
I mean, even if they don't go up to the next level of chains, just having them on 6 turns of 5 cards seems really, really strong.
It's pretty spicy.
Even just 3, just as on a base level, 3 turns of them only having 5 cards. Like in a game like Keyforge where you're trying to filter through as much of your hand as possible.
Yeah.
Yep.
Usually, obviously, you don't do that if you have, there's a lot of extenuating circumstances.
Oh, yeah.
Might we compare him to Torok?
Honest to God, yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty close.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Are there any cards from the new set that you're super excited about?
Okay, so the Shockworm.
Oh my God, the Shockworm. Dude.
So initially, I thought the Shockworm was creatures your opponents control enter play stunned. But that would just be too much. What it actually is creatures your opponents control, when they reap, they become stunned. Which, still strong, but way more reasonable. It's a, 3 power, 1 armor?
That's what I'm looking up right now.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember.
So it's a Mars boy, which, I'm going to be clear, Mars is my favorite house. I love them.
Yeah, he's one of those, y'all.
Yeah.
Make Mars great again.
I've come back around on Mars.
Yeah.
I used to not like them. I think they're dope.
No, I mean, they're not the strongest, but they're pretty strong, and they're just super fun and wacky.
And soft landing enables a lot of broken stuff.
Better, Squawker.
I don't know. I can't find the Shockworm. The most important thing you need to know about it is when your opponent reaps, their creatures become stunned after they reap, which is insane.
Yeah.
Just mind-boggling.
Yeah. That actually brings me to an interesting design choice they're making with this next set, which is that... So currently there's a card called Squawker, which is you gain an amber when you play it, ready a Mars creature, or stun a non-Mars creature.
Yeah.
They're making a new card, which is you gain an amber, Mars card, ready and use a Mars creature. So it's essentially...
A friendly Mars creature.
A friendly Mars creature, yes. So it's essentially just the first half of Squawker, but I think it's interesting because they've basically taken what Squawker is and made it a little bit worse, but still totally playable, which I think demonstrates that they're basically paying attention to what people are noticing playing the game. Is that, Squawker, super powerful. It's one of the better Mars cards. And, I don't know, I think it's just a good sign that, they're looking out for, how things play.
All right, let me counter that with what I see as a bad sign.
Okay.
There are a number of cards in the new set that do X thing for the number of neighbors your creatures have. Like there's a Mars one, 2 power, 1 armor dude, and he adds +2 to the cost to forge a key for each neighbor he has. That is, Keyforge has a lot of bookkeeping already. Now I gotta keep track of my opponent's neighbor's stuff that affects how much my keys cost. That's a lot. That's a lot of things.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of worried about complexity creep a little bit.
Well, there's a long-established theory of, how you manage a card game, which is basically there are 2 kinds of creep, those being complexity and power.
Yeah.
So if they're not going to do power creep, which I don't think they should, if you get more powerful Keyforge, it's it doesn't really work.
Bait and switch and you get an amber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, that's kind of less powerful.
Maybe that's the balance.
Yeah.
Unless you get the amber after you bait and switch, depending on the rules change.
Yeah.
Ugh.
That would be too much. But I don't know. I just think it's...
Yeah, I mean, you can't expand the design space of a game without adding complexity. Like, I
Yeah,
understand.
yeah.
I understand. It's just, a little worrying.
Unfortunately, like, if you are trying to continue a game, like, you kind of pigeonhole yourself into some stuff early on. Like, you've released this game, and now you're trying to modify it, but make it fair based on what you've already
Also,
designed. And, like, how do you not power creep?
They
Because,
didn't have
like,
to do
you have
this.
to make things that are better than you already designed. Like, you have to keep them still playable with the stuff you already did design. Like,
Actually, you really don't. You want to aim actually for exactly the same power level each time because you want decks to be playable in between sets, and there's no deck construction.
Right, but I think what Brian's trying to say is that
you're going to run out of ideas. is
you
what
can
I'm trying to think.
only elegantly achieve the same power level X number of times before you have to design a more complicated card to do the same effect.
That's fair.
Yep. Pretty much. Like, you can't just keep remaking the same card with
Yeah.
like different color or different faction, and then like you're gonna have to change it, and it's gonna warp the format, or
Yeah.
be considered more powerful or not, whether that was your intention.
Yeah.
Like-
On top of that, there's no rotating sets. Like,
Yeah.
they have already said that the new set, you can play with the old set. They're going to allow both kinds of decks in sanctioned events. Like, now they're contending with the fact that there's a whole nother set as well. Like, I understand. It's just makes me a little nervioso when I see stuff like Dusk Witch, the card.
Oh, God.
Dusk Witch has Omega. It's one of the new mechanics in the set, Alpha and Omega. Alpha cards you can only play as the first play of your turn. Omega cards end your turn when you play them. Dusk Witch has Omega, so she ends the turn when you play her. She's a 1-power elusive untamed creature that says your creatures come into play ready. So she gives all of your creatures haste, which is unprecedented. Like, unsymmetrical, unconditional haste for all your dudes.
Like, yeah,
Incredibly
we were
strong.
just talking about we just played some sealed Keyforge right before this, where I had a Shadows artifact that it's an artifact that makes each player's first creature of the turn come in ready.
Yeah.
The Speed Sigil!
Yeah, Speed
Yeah.
Sigil's fabulous
So
card.
it's that card, but on a creature and one-sided,
Yeah.
Speed Sigil.
And for every creature.
Yeah.
Is a
and
fair
for every
Keyforge.
creature, yeah.
It's 100%
Well, my-
fair Keyforge.
Yeah, I mean, Speed Sigil. Yeah, honest to God, most of the time I've played Speed Sigil, I've ended up losing the game. I win more often off of my opponent's Speed Sigil than I do off of mine.
Yeah, that's my next question. Is Speed Sigil bad?
Probably.
I mean, most of the times, probably yes. I would say,
I think
like,
you had a
I have a
card that
deck
was
that
bouncing.
randomly has an ability for me to pick up an artifact of anybody's.
Speed Sigil
Like,
plus Whisper.
target player
Reliquary.
picks up their artifact. So, like, I at one point we were playing earlier tonight, I picked up my Speed Sigil to not get affected for a turn at least, where I was about to play a Shadow's Hand after that.
As far as this witch is concerned, she's 1 power, not elusive.
She is elusive.
She is elusive. That's obnoxious.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's real good.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
obnoxious.
Yep. It seems like
gonna be good.
I've noticed a sub theme.
Is it a rare?
Yeah, it's a rare.
It's
Yeah.
a rare.
I have no idea, but I'm saying that with confidence based on my understanding of how Keyforge rares work.
That's fair.
Except bait and switch and my other one.
I understand how they work. Simple, elegant cards are commons. Complicated ass cards with 3 lines of text are rares. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
It seems like they're doing a lot of deal exactly 1 damage to a creature to punish all of the insanely powerful 1 power or like 1 drop creatures they're making.
Yeah.
Because it's that guy. There's another insane 1 power dude who I can't remember at the moment. And then like they published the Ninja Stars card, which is deal 1 damage to each of 3 creatures, and each creature that dies that way gives you an amber.
Ooh.
So it's like
That's pretty
And you
sweet.
get an amber for playing.
and you
it.
get
Is
amber.
that a
for
Shadows
playing.
card?
Yeah.
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 Super strong.
So it's just like, let me just Secret Needle 3 times and get an amber.
Secret Needle.
Ah,
Still don't have a deck with a Secret Needle in it, but, one day.
I don't even. Is Secret Needle good?
I don't
Yeah.
think so. I don't. Every time I play
okay.
Secret Needle, I think it's too slow.
Oh, it's super slow. See, the thing with Secret Needle, I think, is that 1 of them is fine. 2 of them, really pretty good. 3 of them is disgusting.
That's true.
Pew, 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 pew.
They do
So
get
the
better
more you
reviews.
have, the better.
Yeah.
It's definitely one of those cards. There are cards where you don't want more than one or two. Like
Yeah.
Bad Penny. I would never. I
Yeah.
hate seeing more than one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a do-nothing card unless you have the cards that play off of it, right?
And
Yeah.
even if
Even
you do,
then, you just
don't
want one,
a
right?
lot of
Yeah.
them.
It's also a card that can net you negative traction because your opponent can kill it if you're
Yeah.
dumb. And you
Right.
That's
keep
why
playing it.
Prevent
when-
you from drawing other
as a Magic
cards.
player, the first time I saw that card, I was like, this just seems like it clogs your hand up constantly. Like,
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you don't have the cards to use it, you should probably just find a way to discard it.
That's
instead
one of the
playing it.
ways. That's one of the ways that I know immediately if I'm dealing with a player. Like when I'm playing Keyforge, is if they like tactically discard a Bad Penny, and I'm like, you know. But yeah, I played a game on the Crucible where turn 1 I played something and my opponent played 3 Bad Pennies, and I was like, you have 27 chains now.
Yeah, that's brutal.
You have chains for the rest of the game.
Why is that?
Because I'm going to keep killing these Bad Pennies
They
until you
keep going
either
to the hand,
discard
clogging
them
it up.
or you won't discard them
Oh,
because you don't know
so-
what you're doing.
Theoretical chains, I guess.
Yeah.
I was thinking you were talking about a card. It's like, I kill 3 things and you get a million chains. Oh.
We don't know. Maybe.
Fair Keyforge.
Target opponent gets a chain for each amber they have.
Target
Jeez.
opponent gets a chain.
That
Each
seems-
player gets a chain for each creature they control.
Ah! That's not fair.
that
No,
doesn't-
not at
that
all.
seems really bad.
Yeah,
for
that's
some
exactly
decks.
fair.
It's like
Redact
some
that
kind of
idea. That's terrible.
balance weird thing.
Yeah.
All right.
How about each player gains 3 chains?
And you get an amber?
Or target player gains 4 and you gain 3.
Ooh.
Fertility chant, but for chains.
4 and 2. I'd be
Yeah.
down. That's
4 and 2.
nasty.
Yeah.
You kind of hose yourself, but you like if they're at
super
any
hose
level
them.
of chains, like you kind
Yeah.
of push them over to the next level.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really do anything other than neg them 1 card for 4 turns if there's nothing else going on.
Yeah. That's pretty solid. I call it Fair Keyforge.
Yeah. Throw
Sure.
an amber on there. It's playable.
Amber on there, it's just broken at that point.
Yeah.
It's real good. Because, like, the gold standard now is get 3 chains for nothing. It's pretty wild. Let's see. What was the other card I wanted to talk about? One of the other new mechanics they have is deploy, which is a keyword that lets you play creatures anywhere on the battle line. And then
I like that.
All the creatures, like the one they spoiled was a 1 power elusive. Oh, that's the other card I was trying to think of earlier. 1 power elusive deploy, and its neighbors get deploy, or his neighbors get elusive.
Yeah.
Oh,
So you can give 2 creatures elusive now.
that's
which
pretty
is
sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Is skirmish the one when they're attacked?
Yeah.
They don't take damage?
No, elusive
when
is the
they
one
attack.
where they avoid the
Elusive
first
is-
fight.
Okay, so
against
elusive
them.
is better than skirmish, right? Yeah.
Yeah, skirmish is first strike for when you're attacking.
Yeah.
Protect your hunting witch.
Yeah.
Deploy
Yeah,
this
dude.
jerk.
Hunting witch with elusive.
He also has
Deploy it
taunt.
next to a creature with taunt.
He has taunt,
yeah.
armor, and deploy, and
Mhm.
yeah,
I
he
just
gives
wanna
these
play-
dudes elusive.
I just want to give Shadow Self elusive,
Yeah.
just to dick on him.
So do we know if these decks that are coming out are going to be mixes of
Yes.
the old
Yeah.
and new cards?
There
for
are
the most
200
part?
odd new cards and 100 old cards, and instead of Mavericks, they have throwbacks. I think they have a different name for them, but they have throwbacks where like cards that aren't in the set from the OG version might be in there anyway.
Gotcha.
Nice.
It's fascinating.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. Oh, Binate Rupture. I want to talk about this card.
Okay.
It has alpha, so you have to play it first. It's a logos card. It has 1 line of text, which is as follows: each player doubles their amber.
Ooh. Do you get any amber when you play it?
No.
Nope.
Okay, that makes sense.
I think it's bad. I think it's really bad.
Why?
You have to play it mostly because it has alpha.
Yeah, I
if
mean
you could
that's
play
the
it
biggest
later
downside.
in the turn, it would be really strong.
But if you're ahead, let's say you have
I'd say if you're on
3,
the play,
if you have
it's
3 to
okay.
4 amber and they have like 1, and you just slam a jam that thing, you time walk them. They have to interact with you not forging a key, or like they just give you a key for free. Like
I think it could be good. I think it's better on the play for sure.
it's the first card, and you have to play it, but then you can still have other cards of that faction in play already as
Yeah.
well.
Or
so,
you can, like, if you're both at 3, you play Binate Rupture and then Dexray.
but I don't know.
So Dexray is capture 1.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah,
both
I
go up
mean,
to 6,
yeah.
capture 1. Like so it's I would classify it as a high risk, high reward
Yeah.
card, kind of like Gateway to Dees,
It can win the game.
where Gateway to
So-
Dees can absolutely dumpster your opponent or do very little and give you chains.
I mean, it just seems so much. But they're at 1, you're at 3.
I'm just
All of a sudden, you're forging a key, and they're at 2.
honestly like I'm just
Like-
happy they gave me another card that interacts well with iGraft or
Yeah.
interdimensional graph, my favorite card of the entire game, which is you get an amber, and then if your opponent forges a key on their next turn, you take their remaining amber after they forge a key. So it's like
Yep.
we're both at 6, binate rupture, or like we're both at 12 now, and I'll play.
You basically get a free key.
They forge a key, give me all of your remaining amber, and like
Yeah, if you don't have an answer.
logos, library access. Pew, 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 pew.
No,
I
that
just
card seems good.
experienced the magic of library access.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
for the first time.
Card's pretty good.
Yeah, that's a busted
It's
card.
pretty over the top sometimes. I mean, it can whiff, but
Yeah.
it also has potential. It's like very high reward and like medium risk, I guess.
Yeah.
Like
Basically,
you're at
no
worst.
risk.
You're at
Yeah,
risk.
I think
You're
you
at
just-
worst
you
gonna
just
gain a card.
Sandbag it in
Like,
your hand until you have 4 logos cards to
Yeah.
play.
Yeah,
and just
exactly.
go crazy.
You just go nuts. And my hierarchy of cards is bait and switch, library access, everything else in the game. Like,
Yep.
they're just so good.
Yeah.
All right. We have any other?
There's one that I like purely for flavor reasons. It's called standardized testing,
Oh man.
and it is destroy each of the weakest creature and the strongest creature, which I just really enjoy back from my days in public school. And standardized tests were the worst. That's it. That's the end of my TED talk.
Pretty accurate.
Yeah.
Those
yeah.
Oh,
That said, it's
I
also
wanted,
just a super good
I
card.
wanted to talk about this guy. This is a common demon called Yerk. He's a 4-power boy. He has play, discard a card.
You discard a card.
Yes. You play him, you discard a card. There's some flavor text about making deals. That's one of those cards I was like, that sucks. And I was like, wait, no, it's Keyforge.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
weird about Keyforge
Yeah,
because
that's
like
pretty
sometimes
Yeah.
you just have to get crap out of your hand
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Like so, way to like on a turn that you didn't want to call this. Like hell yeah, I'm gonna get this shit out of here and
Yeah.
I'm gonna float through
When
a
you're
couple
stuck
more.
on like one card of a different house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, this binary rupture fucking sucks.
Uh-huh.
Throw it in the garbage.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we got. Oh yeah, Swindle. We got to talk about this one.
Oh, yeah.
It's a Shadows card. It has Alpha and Omega, so you have to play it first, and it ends
and
the
it
turn.
ends the turn, yeah.
It's the only thing it does is steal 3.
It's pretty good.
That's a good card.
Yeah, it's
That's a good
it's
card.
I
very
would time walk for that, like, because
Yeah.
it's time walk and then most likely at the turn you play it. Like,
Yeah, it's
you're about to forge? How about no? I'm
You
about
guys
to
know
get
about
close to
Treasure
forge.
Map?
Ixalan?
No.
So wait, I have a quick
there's a treasure map in Shadows. Go ahead.
question on Alpha. Can you still use your creatures of that house if you
It's Alpha
wanna
and
play
Omega,
an Alpha
though.
card? Right, but could you fight or reap with a creature before playing that card?
It's
Ooh.
before doing anything else.
Before
in
doing
step, so you
anything
have to
else.
play it before doing anything else.
Got you.
As far as I know, I could be wrong about that. Caveat.
I think that's what it says in the reminder text, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I've been wrong several times about Keyforge rules at this point, so
Yeah.
you never know. I thought that Neutron Shark just kept blowing shit up, like it was a
Neutron
Magna card triggered ability. You just kept resolving it, but it turns out no, that's not how it works.
Yeah.
Trying to find another spicy one. Xanthix Harvester is just weird. It's just Dew Fairy, except for it's a 3-power Mars creature, and you can only use it if you have Martian neighbors surrounding it.
Yeah,
Unless it's
okay.
on the flank.
Yeah,
It
so
can only have
right.
Mars neighbors.
Yeah, you know what? You're right about that. It can be on the flank. You can play that guy and then Dominator, and you just have a free Dew Fairy with no elusive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For 3. That's pretty
Yeah.
good. That's all right. I just didn't understand how it worked.
Yeah, it's. I think you're right though. I don't think it's that good. I would rather just have Dew
okay.
Fairy.
It's mediocre.
They don't all have to be bangers. Like,
Yep.
Yeah.
Darna is fucking ridiculous. It's like
Yeah.
2 power, and then you gain 1 for each damaged friendly creature. So it's like a one-sided
Yeah.
Cleansing wave.
cleansing wave.
Oh wow.
And then it has reap, heal 2 damage from a creature. So it doesn't actually do the healing part of cleansing wave, but who gives a shit about the healing part of cleansing wave?
Yeah,
am I
exactly.
right? Like, it's good stuff. Oh yeah, we got to talk about Marmos Swarm and Richard Garfield's complete inability to not have squirrels in his games.
Yep.
Well, he lasted a whole set without doing it.
He did.
So Marmor Swarm, it's a 2-power creature. It gets +1 power for each amber in your pool.
Ooh. That's
That's pretty interesting. I mean,
Unreasonable
that's a very
large.
Garfield card.
Yeah,
Like,
it's untamed too. So
for
like,
for a squirrel that's unreasonably
It's-
large.
That
like-
just occurred to me though.
art
That is
kinda
terrible immediately after you forge a key.
Yeah.
Or like they put 2 damage on it or something.
just
Just
pop.
wait for you to forge a key, and he just pops when
That's
you
true.
forge a key.
Yeah.
That's so sad.
Exploding squirrels.
I don't want my squirrels to explode. That's
mean,
not what I want in my
So
life.
you either fight him into something before you forge, or you reap with him and then you know he's gonna die. Like,
Yeah, but that's so sad.
it is sad.
I don't
Yeah.
want my squirrels to
fine.
pop.
Many sad times.
No.
You just play Vigor twice and make him even stronger.
Yeah.
Smash on some people.
It is a beast, right? So it does
Yeah.
benefit from the beast tribal.
So
thing.
if you got Niffle Ape out or
Yeah.
Niffle Queen, you're good to go.
Uh-huh.
God, there's a beast card that I wasn't expecting that threw me for a fucking loop. Oh, Murmuk's a beast.
Uh-huh.
Crab beast. Archimedes, everyone's super hype about him. He's basically Archimedes' neighbors. When they are destroyed, they go to archives. So he archives the creatures that die next to him, and he's a 2-power elusive dude.
Mm-hmm.
2-power elusive is just good.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly. Creatures that just stick around.
2-power elusive dope ability is like what I want to see in Keyforge. And then when they have 2-power and no elusive, that's when they get fucking redonkulous.
Yeah.
Ember Imp, Shaffles, fucking
Hunting
Witch.
Yeah. You gotta be able to kill him.
Uh-huh.
All right. Next up, Marshawn Lynch.
Oh, Eureka. This is another interesting alpha. So you get an Amber. It's an alpha card. And then you get 2 more Amber, and you archive 2 random cards from your hand. So you play it before you play anything else. You're going to lose 2 cards, but you get 3 Amber.
That's pretty good.
So it's like a
Yeah.
50-50.
That's a great card. Well, archiving basically draws you cards. So.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it would suck if you had 3 Logos cards in hand. You archive 2 of them. And you're
True.
It'd be a really good turn 1 play, though.
like,
Wow. That just
Like
occurred.
being
Oh
able to
my
stack up your
God.
like turn 6 or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Like, it's time for this sanctum nonsense.
God
Like,
damn, you thought Sloppy Lab Work was a good turn 1 play.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, that's solid.
Yeah, the other one that we should mention because we thought of it on the previous podcast and then it became a real boy was we were talking about having creatures with like 2 power and 5 armor. Yeah, they made that. It's a collector worm. It's in Mars, and also when it fights creatures, it puts them into your archive.
Yeah.
That's gross.
You
I mean-
they're doing actual stealing now.
So if you never archive,
Yeah,
then
it
if
stays
you
in
never
your
like pick up
archive.
your archive and they go to shuffle their deck back in, they're just out those cards. It's
Yeah,
basically
gone.
like you can semi-purge stuff.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
in jail
Okay.
basically.
Hmm.
Yeah, there's a couple effects that do that now.
Yeah, there's that Mars card.
Uh-huh.
I think that you just archive the biggest creature. I think,
Mhm.
and then it just puts it in your archive.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you just kind of sit on it, like,
There's
well,
a-
you're not gonna have that,
There's a
or 2 cards maybe.
Sample
Uh-huh.
collection, which is like equal to number of keys.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think there's one based on damage, but that might just no, it puts them in archives. And then there's the creature that reaps to do it, which is just ridiculous.
Uh-huh.
2 power elusive, remove a creature from the game for as long as I feel like.
Yeah.
Oh,
pretty
also they printed Fear but worse in Beast.
Oh, yeah?
There's a Banish, which is the new card. It is 1 Amber, and you take target opponent creature and put it in its owner's archives. So it's like a turbo twice removed bounce, except for bounce is amazing in this game because you clog up your opponent's hand.
Yeah.
And putting it in their archives doesn't change that much.
It's not as good.
Yeah, it's way
It's
worse.
worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is why they give you an Amber for it. It's
Uh-huh.
Big brain design.
It's like
Mhm.
an unsummoned bat, practically.
Yeah, that feels more like a magic kind of unsummon
Yeah.
or bounce effect. Yeah.
Good stuff. I'm excited for the new set.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
Pretty happy. Yeah. I mean, I'm still excited about the set that's out now, so
Yeah.
it can only get
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
It's been pretty fucking scarce, so like it
Yeah.
feels new.
But no, that's another thing. Can confirm I ran into a card I had never seen tonight.
Me too.
It was
Several.
It was the Grublin.
Briar Grubbling,
Yeah.
Hazardous 5.
Yeah. That's just ridiculous.
What is
to me.
hazardous again?
Hazardous is when you attack that creature, you take 5 damage before combat.
Yeah.
He's a 2-power Hazardous 5 dude.
Wow.
Yep.
Little
Good
spiky-
luck.
spiky little bug.
That card's good.
Yeah.
Alright, here's my I have
guess-
one Fair Keyforge banger for you guys that we can discuss, and then we can take it out.
Banger.
It is a 2-power Sanctum guy, and his text is, when you have Amber equal to or greater than the current cost to forge a key, your opponent cannot forge keys. 2-power, no keywords, no armor.
I'd say that's fair. It's good. It's fair.
There's a stamp. Smash cut to
Ka-chunk.
like too much of the Mortal Kombat movie, like 3 minutes. No, I'm just kidding. It was like a couple seconds. Gotcha.
Nice.
I did just watch that movie the other day.
Oh, you did?
The other week. It's real. It's kind
It's
of
real good?
nostalgic. No, it's
talk
bad.
about
It's real bad.
We're fading out right now, but we should talk about Mortal Kombat.
Don't.
Okay.